So this store
Yeah.
is like the best entry point for someone who is used to shopping in a supermarket. How'd you get into it?
I fell in love with a farmer. You know, like the food that we're buying at the grocery store, like we just think about how far that food has traveled. Like if a customer, for example, sees me in Market Basket, they're like, oh my God.
Oh no,
There she is.
What are you doing?
Then I'm going to Spain and I'm going to live in Madrid for the rest of my life. I mean, the truth of the story is that.
And just like that, we are back with the universe according to Mugsy. I am joined by the owner-operator of the Vernon family farm, Nicole Vernon. And as I got in the car this morning on the North Shore of Massachusetts, I was reminded, because my father worked in Stratham for so long, how beautiful the ride up is on 95. It is, I don't know, it took us an hour to get here from the North Shore. But it's always, depending on the season, man, when it snows, it's so pretty. In the fall, the leaves. I figured to get into this conversation, I'll tell you how I found this place.
Yeah, let's hear it, Mugsy.
Me and my wife were going camping, and we were climbing a mountain. I started maybe right before I met her, I had started to reconsider my health and start trying to find new places to get meat. I listened to Joe Rogan talk about shooting deer for so long. I was like, I don't know how to hunt, but I think I want to try this fresh meat thing. And I started looking up farms, and this trip was a trip for us to go and explore a bunch of the farms that we picked out. And we found the Vernon family farm on our way up. It was stocked with all the things that we needed, but we were going camping. So we're like, we'll just stop right back on Sunday night and we'll get all the stuff that we planned on getting. We get here Sunday and there is nothing here. It's like, not nothing, but like, I don't know. It was a much less supply than we were used to on the Friday. And it's not the supermarket. And we learned that right away. And then there was a woman. So we were new to the community. And she was getting, I don't know, 5 or 6 bone broths. And I just remember we were getting into the health stuff, and my wife made a comment like, yeah, of course that skinny bitch is just drinking bone broth or something like that. And to find us 2 years later, we're up here getting bone broth, and now we're the skinny bitches. It's like, oh, what a great place to discover, and it really was right around the corner. So I wanted to take a chance to get to know you more, and I'm sure I have so many questions that other people have, and I figured it would be a great way to capture it and maybe let other people in on the conversation.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to have the conversation. We're physically in the farm store right now, so hopefully all the audio is good because we've got a lot of competing noises and sounds. We've got the refrigeration going behind us. We've got the wicked cozy wood stove keeping us warm. So we might have a customer or two come in even though we're closed because that's what happens. Mondays and Tuesdays, the farm store is closed, but inevitably we have folks that either forget or they don't check to see when we're open. So we might have a fun little
drop in.
Drop in.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation. Thanks so much for taking the time to drive up. And yeah, I think I want to refrain your skinny bitch comment though.
Oh yeah.
Because I think really what it is like you stumbled into the world of local food, and when you start eating local food and drinking bone broth or eating farm-raised meats, you just realize how much healthier you feel. And when you feel healthy and you're physically feeling healthy, then it's easier to do all the other things that you know are going to make you healthy. Spend more time outside, spend less time on technology, get good sleep, so
feel healthy.
Feel healthy.
I think that is a huge, that's something to key in on, is how do you feel?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I started to realize, which was what got me out of my normal pattern. At some point you look around the supermarket and you say, I eat the same thing as all of these people, and I don't want the same outcome. And and that must have been what shocked me out of it, because when I think back, that's the thing that I remember thinking about, to go out and find something new. And when I did, the feeling was so much different.
Yeah.
Oh, my whole body felt different. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up doing the Breakheart Consciousness Diaries. I was outside for an entire summer.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to be outside.
Yeah.
Connect more with the outdoors, feel healthier. And this place seems like such a beautiful, relaxing, insane farm. Because
Yeah,
it's not like you don't
relaxing and
have
insane.
It is relaxing, but at the same time, like there's so much going on.
Yeah, there is so much going on. You are right about that. Yeah, I mean, farming is a full-time job.
How did we get into it?
How do people start farming?
How'd you get into it?
I fell in love with a farmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I look back on, so broadly, how do people get into farming? I think some people grow up on a farm and they just continue doing what previous generations do. They continue to farm the land. They fall in love with the lifestyle. They like working outside with their hands. And so they continue to do that. Farming is hard. There's a lot of sacrifices and a lot of compromises that farming families make to be able to keep up this sort of lifestyle, not only for themselves, but for a community. And as far as my experience goes, I fell into farming because I fell in love with a farmer. I was teaching Spanish up in Bath, Maine. I was 1 year I taught at a boarding school by the name of the Hyde School. And my roommate, who was like a dorm parent with me, went to college with Jeremiah at Bates College. And as she and I got to know each other better, she was like, there's this guy that I was friends with. I feel like you guys would click. Fortunately, Jeremiah at the time he was out on the West Coast for a little while. He moved back to the East Coast and he was working at Nizinscott Farm, which is one of the oldest organic dairy farms in the state of Maine. It's amazing. Next time you're up in Turner, you got to go there. It's an inspiration as far as like family farms go. And it was one of the inspirations behind sort of the work that we do here. A lot of Nizinscott Farm, a lot of Spring Ledge Farm, a lot of different previous farm experiences that either Jeremiah had by himself or I had with Jeremiah have sort of like helped to make the fabric of what Vernon Family Farm currently is. But anyway, he was working there as a farmhand and it's about 30 minutes away and we got together and hit it off. And yeah, I mean, the truth of the story is that I was in no mindset to be like settling down. I was like, this is a fling. Then I'm going to Spain and I'm going to live in Madrid for the rest of my life.
Nope,
I'm going to be a city girl. I'm going to marry a Spaniard.
Different plans for you.
Yeah, the universe. The universe is like, no, you're not. You're going to stay here. But I would never change any of it.
So you are much like me in the fact that you didn't grow up on the farm lifestyle, but
No.
now you have embraced it far more than I have.
Yeah, I have really embraced it. I love farming. Yeah, I feel very much aligned with my like authentic self. I feel very in tune with the work that I do. I love not only farming and using my hands and being behind the counter and talking to people, but I love being an advocate for small farms and local food. I think it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely still learning my voice when it comes to this. Like even this podcast, normally I say yes to podcasts when like Jeremiah's right here with me, because that feels like, I don't know, feels more his thing than it does mine. But now slowly, like it's, I don't know, just as much both of our thing.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Your social media, do you do that?
I do. It's all me.
Unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable. I know how much it takes. I did not do any social media for like a decade before I started the podcast.
Yeah.
So I had to get into it fresh, learn how all the little widgets work and what they tell you and what they don't tell you in terms of algorithmically being promoted.
Yes.
There's so much behind the scenes, so I am unbelievably impressed with any time I see your Instagram reels. They're so thought out. The message it seems so connected to the authenticity that I feel when I'm here.
Oh, well, cool. Well, a couple things on that. So one, I do feel like our social media presence has improved since me being full-time at the farm. So for a long time, I sort of told the story about meeting Jeremiah up in Bath, Maine area when I was teaching. For the majority of our ownership of Vernon Family Farm, I was working off the farm. So yes, I was doing like social media and like website work, with Laura Fox from Maine Fox Marketing.
Nice.
Yes, I was doing all that stuff, but I was doing all that stuff either in the wee hours of the morning before going to school or in the evening hours after our kids went to bed. So for a long time, I was teaching Spanish and still doing all of the social media. And I feel like I did a great job.
Yeah, you did. Definitely.
But I do think since being here full time, it's improved. And of course it's improved, right? Because it's like, I'm more connected.
Over
I'm here
time.
physically. I'm having all the conversations with customers. A lot of my ideas come from customer conversations that I have. Reactions. Sometimes those reactions are happening in our conversation as I'm checking people out on the counter. Sometimes they're things that I overhear them saying to their partner or to their friend, whoever they're with shopping. And sometimes some of my ideas come from borrowing ideas from other people, if I'm really honest. You know, like teachers are good teachers because they share materials. I truly believe that like strong teachers, regardless of the school district, are strong teachers not only because they have their own personal ideas that they're using in the classroom, but they're also collaborating with other teachers. If you relate that same sort of mindset to farming, like I think I am doing a good job doing social media for the farm because I'm also sort of watching other popular social media accounts, whether they're strategists or other farms that are, you know, maybe even across the United States that inspire me. And then sort of watching their social and then seeing like, oh, how could I, you know, fit this to my idea or the work that I do here? And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, creative idea. Like the Stranger Things post?
Yes, that was so good.
Okay,
I loved
so-
that. Right at the right time, because that was the Stranger Things.
Totally.
Yeah.
But do you want to know?
That was from years ago, you said, right?
No, I did that carousel post very recently, but the truth of the matter is that I have actually we just started watching Stranger Things.
Oh, yes.
So I'm
yeah,
not
you said
even
that.
really somebody that's that connected to that show,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew that it was a trending audio. I had seen that the font was present on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about the strange things within the farming world.
You're paying attention to just the environment. You
Yeah.
naturally, you're paying attention to the environment, whether you're looking for inspiration or whether you're just curious about what else is going on in farming. I love that. One of the things that got me out of the corporate world was everyone protecting their job. They spend 75% of their time making sure nobody else knows how to do the thing that they do,
Yeah,
so that they are always employable.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here with that. So
totally.
my dad always taught me that if you're going to be a good boss, show everyone what you do all day so that if you're ever gone, it runs smoothly. That's the sign that you have a good boss.
Yeah,
And
100%.
It feels like that's the same thing you're preaching here in terms of sharing information
Yeah.
and going out and looking for more, and other people that are sharing information. It rings with authenticity, because if you've really figured something out, you want to show other people, right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
And also, not for nothing, but like the farming community here on the Seacoast is only going to be stronger if other farms are also successful.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't have enough product. We're not large enough of a farm to support, you know, the entire Seacoast. We're just not. And there's things that we do well, but there's things that other farms do better. And, you know, like 11 years ago when we started farming and started doing this, and I will say this is still sort of true. Like, you know, a part of Vernon Family Farm has no other choice but to continue social media and being present, because we have to always remind people that we're here so that they come and they shop the farm store.
Yep.
People are living in a world of habits that have been created for years, decades, and having a customer make the decision to not go to Whole Foods this week and to come to Vernon Family Farm instead is something that I feel like no matter how long we're in business, I need to keep shouting. So anyway, I lost my train of thought a little bit with where I was going with that, but I guess, you know, because farming is such a difficult lifestyle,
You
like
have to continually promote it.
Yeah,
Continually
continuously
promote
promote
it.
this. Like I'm never going to be on cruise control with marketing.
No, you
And
can't.
if I am, then you start seeing other things go by the wayside.
Yeah, it's weird because there's two ways the culture can be created. It can be created top down, or it can be created ground up. This is a ground up type of thing. When I say top down, what I mean is there's structures that you get thrown into and you have no choice over, like education system, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Those are a group of people that you are going to go through an experience with. You have no choice over it if you decide to go into the public school system.
Totally.
Ground up is getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You went out and you seeked that yourself. No one was telling you had to do it. It was an experience you wanted to go through. You will go through it with other people. But this, to me, feels very ground up.
Yeah.
And that community, hopefully over time, will spend less time on the social media reminding, because it's more ingrained into people's minds, because they see what's going on and they choose to be more connected. Because what it sounds like to me is you're connected to the animals, you're connected to like the earth through the farming, you're connected to the community through the store. The health also comes from a connection to everything, where in today's society, maybe that's exactly what we're missing. People are connected to their phones and they think they're connected, but they're really not connected to much.
Yeah.
This is also an opportunity for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it is like a community. It's a different decision that you make, and you fall into different patterns. Like shopping. So this store is like the best entry point for someone who is used to shopping in a supermarket in many respects.
Yeah, totally. It can also be a really intimidating first step.
No question about it. I don't know how long we walked around the store. My wife's the producer too. That's why I'm looking back at the camera here. But yeah, we took a look around, and then you're doing the price per whatever, and you're trying to convert that. And then you just take that and you throw that right out the window, because if you're choosing to eat healthy, then it doesn't matter. You've already gone, who cares what it costs? We're eating healthy now.
Yeah.
Or we're giving this a shot.
Yeah.
The red meat. Oh, yeah, too, the red meat, because my wife can't eat red meat. And then we come to the farm, and now we can eat red meat again, which is pretty crazy because who knows? I assume that comes to you guys doing something different than the big Marcus.
Oh, 100%. We're doing it completely different from what you're getting at the supermarket. But yeah, I mean, Vernon Family Farm is a one-stop shop for local food. I think when Jeremiah and I first started farming on the seacoast, we were farming other people's land prior to finding this beautiful piece that we get to call Vernon Family Farm. And just to sort of skip back a second, your comment around community and how community is formed, 100% this farm has been formed and molded and changed for the better, by the way, for the better, because of community, because of individuals, because of groups of people, because of people like you, right, who are making a choice to eat differently and do something different and get more connected. I don't think farms can work if the community's not on board.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be really isolating. It's sad that it's an isolating profession and experience. But hi, goodbye. But it doesn't work unless the community gets involved. And even like calling it Vernon Family Farm, like, yes, that's my last name, but like, it's not my farm. Like Jeremiah and I, like, yes, we're responsible for paying the bills, for the upkeep of this place, the ins and outs, but like, it truly feels like a community farm. Like, the beauty of this farm store is not because I am behind the counter. The beauty of this farm store is because of people like our current employees, Trey and Anastasia, who work and help sort of incorporate their own perspectives and ideas into what looks good and how to merchandise. It also incorporates like all of the previous employees that we've had. You know, Vernon Family Farm has been around now for 11 years. We've had a lot of employees come through this place. We've had some employees that have stayed longer than others, and like the fabric of who we are and what we are and how our customers know us absolutely is connected to really important people like Teresa and Ricky and all these former employees that made such an impact on me, on my family, on this space. So
I think you can feel that. Do you know what I mean? I think that there's an energy that you can feel.
Well, that's cool to hear. It's hard for me to hear that a little bit. I don't know why. It feels like
that's what I pay attention to when I go into any store. Like I'm trying to feel the energy of what's going on in the space.
Yeah.
I'm probably a weirdo, and I'm probably the only one that's doing that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, people get good vibes when they come here.
Yeah.
People get really good vibes when they come here, and so yes, like walking into a farm store like this and having this be your first experience with like shopping local in a lot of ways is great because it's close enough to what you've already experienced. Like you're walking into a store like you are maybe a typical grocery store, and you see products that are familiar enough to you. You know, you don't know the brands, but you see beef, you see chicken, you see pork, you see a dairy cooler, you see a person behind the counter that you can interact with, which is different than it was like 11 years ago when there was just a walkie-talkie and like a honors system. There's been a lot of development here at Vernon Family Farm. You know, you see a beverage cooler with like beverages that, you know, you can't get at a typical grocery store, but they look close enough to something that you're comfortable with. So there's definitely like, there's that energy and there's that vibe. There's also the beauty of, you know, somebody like the people who man this store or woman this store, who are extroverted and pretty good, like, pretty good readers of social cues. So like when you walk in, I'm the same way, like you're scanning energy, so am I.
Yeah.
Like you walk in and I'm like, okay, does this person is
Know
definitely a
what's
newbie.
going
They've
on.
never come here. Okay, like how do I approach this person? I know exactly how to approach this person. Or somebody's coming in the store and it's like they're a regular, I know them at this point. You know, they might not be talkative, and that's okay. I'm going to give them the space. Or they're going to want to continue the conversation from where we left off last time. So you have like those types of people behind the counter, whether it's me, Anastasia, Trey, Jeremiah, whoever it is, you know.
You don't get that when you're checking yourself out at Stop and Shop.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And that's a lot of reasons why people continue to come back, is they have such a great customer service experience that they're like, I would take this over, you know, Stop and Shop, Whole Foods, Market Basket any day.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not to say that you can't do both. You can totally do both. I think sometimes there's a misconception, and I get this a little bit because, like, if a customer, for example, sees me in Market Basket, they're like, "Oh my God,
Oh no!
there she is!
What are you doing?
But
You
I'm
switched
there
sides.
too.
Yeah.
I'm there too. We're both doing the same thing. Like, this farm store is a wonderful store to support, but sometimes you have to do both, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like even a $10 purchase here is better than nothing. You know, even just choosing to come here and, you know, do a little shopping and, you know, purchase maybe a variety of items, or if you're just going to be somebody who's going to narrow in on the proteins and just make sure you're, you know, purchasing all your proteins here at the farm store. You can do both. I think something that can make this space a little intimidating is, you know, in some ways, everything that also makes it really strong. You're coming in and
You got a gravel parking lot.
Yeah.
Even just pulling in.
Yeah, just pulling in.
You're right off the highway too, though. I would like to say that it's right off the highway, a couple turns. It ain't bad. But pulling into the parking lot, you're not coming into a paved place, and you're on the farmland.
And you might be the only person in the farm store.
Correct.
Which, that can be scary.
You don't realize it until you're the only one there, and then you're like, "Is it open?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it? It says it's open,
Yeah,
but
the
there's
lights are
no
on.
one in there.
Yeah. And maybe there's no one in there because the same person that's checking you out is also, you know, quickly running over to make sure the animals have enough water.
Yeah.
Or up in the freezer, like packing meat boxes.
For sure.
You know, because we're all wearing so many different hats, which most entrepreneurs like know that, but farmers
But everybody
wear a lot
is
of
not
hats.
an entrepreneur. The rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. So yeah, it's a good place to start for sure.
It is pretty wild. I don't even know where I'm going to go. I don't even know where I'm about to go. But right now, I do not want to sell you any deodorant for your balls or anything else, really, at this moment. What I would like for you to do is go to MugsyTheCreator.com. You can find my Patreon link, which enables me to do this all for free, living off $12 grand a year in my paradise. But You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and a whole host of other places. Let's see where I'm going to go with this one. How's he going to land that plane? Back to the episode. Do people struggle with the frozen food aspect? I didn't even think about it until we were having a conversation.
Yeah. I have to consistently remind myself that, like, preparing dinner with protein that was frozen maybe even an hour ago is not the norm. I forget that because that has been my norm now for 11 years.
For so long.
Yeah. So yeah, people definitely struggle with that. I think people have the misconception that because it's frozen, there's no way it's going to be ready to cook that day, which is just 100% false. Like, as somebody who cooks and or has a partner who cooks, Jeremiah's gonna be listening to this. He's gonna be like, bullshit, you cook. He's the main cook in our home.
Okay.
And he's so good at it. I love it. We are thawing meat sometimes several hours before, sometimes a couple days before if we're really like on top of it. But most of the time we're thawing it like at 5 o'clock.
And it can be done.
We eat. Yeah.
Easy.
And we're making everything from scratch.
Nice.
And sometimes that means we don't eat until 8:30, but that's sort of like a compromise that we've just done for so long that doesn't even feel like a compromise anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. I love taking it out in the morning because it makes me decide what I'm going to have for dinner that night.
Yeah.
Like, I have to make the decision now.
Yep.
Got to take the thing out, whatever it's going to be.
Yep.
And I've just fallen into that pattern for so long now that it's just a part of my day too. So I don't even think about it either. But it's different, I understand, for people that are used to running to the store and getting meat from the refrigerator section and then going home and cooking it.
Yeah. And I won't act like I'm an expert in this, but, you know, meat that you are buying at the grocery store that's, quote, fresh, it's not really that fresh.
Well, that's like,
how
we got started.
It's not frozen, but it's not really that fresh.
Yeah, because my wife, there must be some additive there, and my wife can't eat the red meat.
Yeah, or it's just been
so long.
It's been held at a temperature where it's like cold enough, and then when it goes on the shelf, it's okay to be, you know, at that temperature. Again, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert, because I'm not. But
no, but you're an expert on your own body too, and I think that's what many Americans are feeling. Like, they're just listening to their own body. I think that's how I got here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I do.
Because I don't think either of us will ever be the perfect experts that we want to be on understanding the physical thing, whatever goes on when we eat meat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd love to be a doctor too, but I can't. And you're a farmer, and we need you to be a farmer.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's pretty backwards when we think about, you know, like the food that we're buying at the grocery store. Like, we just think about how far that food has traveled.
Oh.
You know, like all the different hands that have touched that food. And I don't mean like, I mean more like, you know, it was raised by someone, then it was processed somewhere else. Maybe it was packaged in the same facility, maybe not.
Maybe it wasn't.
You know, then it was probably on, you know, many different trucks. And then, you know, then it was at the store. Then maybe it got moved to a warehouse, and it got moved back to the store. It's just like...
Yeah, it's a lot of places.
Yeah.
When you start thinking about the supply chain
Totally.
and how you have the power to, like, just cut to the chase.
Exactly.
All you got to do is go local. And wherever your local is, if you're not from around here.
Well, and if you're thinking about that supply chain on like a larger industrial global scale, and then you think about how much like that rotisserie chicken at Market Basket costs, like that is horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was compromised so that you could purchase a Market Basket or any other, you know, I don't want to just like rag on Market Basket because I love Demoulas. Don't get me wrong. That's what did you know that's what they used to be called?
RDT.
Okay.
Yeah. RIP, right?
Yeah.
RIP, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh.
So because we shop there when we go to the traditional grocery store, but you know, any grocery store, when you are buying a rotisserie chicken for like $5,
How is that possible?
how is that possible?
How do you raise a chicken for $5?
The answer is it's not.
Yeah.
The answer is it's not possible. And I feel like finally we're sort of getting the switch of like, instead of people asking, why is your meat so expensive? We're getting people asking, why is that meat so cheap? And that's like that's real progress.
That's a switch.
Yeah.
Like, we're starting to make that cultural switch in our own individual consciousness to be looking at the glasses half empty, half full type stuff.
Totally.
And it's, oh, wait a minute. How did you? Oh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. You're not fooling me anymore, McDonald's, with your $1 double cheeseburger. You can't get me 2 beef patties for less than $1, especially with all this other stuff that's going on.
I know.
I don't even know if they still have dollar double cheeseburgers at McDonald's. Maybe.
I don't know. I can't
We're
even.
asking the wrong people.
I know. I know. I have not eaten at McDonald's, and I don't even know how long. It's probably been close to 2 decades, I want to say.
I can imagine, because you have so much fun stuff going on up here.
Yeah.
I was so lucky to go to one of the last events of was it the fall?
Yeah.
Pumpkin smashing, November?
Oh, yeah. The Grateful Slice.
The Grateful Slice.
Yeah.
Oh, that pizza
was fun.
great. It was so fun. There were a couple of vendors selling jewelry. That was the best apple cider I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
That was so good. And yeah, the pizza was great. You guys do stuff like that here as well. So maybe you don't want to make the switch, but there's plenty of stuff that you can do on the farm to enjoy the community. And
100%. Yeah. If you don't want to shop local, or if like shopping local, you just can't figure out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
One, there's always time. Like eventually
you can do it. We have faith in you. We have faith in you.
Eventually, like this too shall change for you. But yeah, a lot of people, I mean, that's the importance of agritourism events. So we have always, since we first purchased Vernon Family Farm, we have always planned and hosted agritourism events. So an agritourism event is essentially an opportunity for someone like you to come and experience farm life. And for us as a livestock farm, when we believe that the most authentic way that you are going to experience the farm is if you get to see the animals and then eat the meat. For some people, that's a really intense connection. You know, it's like I'm meeting my meat here, hi sheep, and then I'm eating lamb on a pizza that Dante from Dead Proof Pizza Company prepared.
It's so good, though.
But
good.
It's so good, and we believe that full circle is something that's really important. We believe that food needs to be transparent. So like when our customers come and shop the farm store, or if our customers come and attend an agritourism event, like we want people to ask us questions. We want people to walk over and see the guard llamas when they drive in. We want people to be like, I wonder if there's chicks in the brooder right now. We want that sort of openness and transparency. We believe that asking those sorts of questions is really important. So when people come onto the farm for an agritourism experience, you know, they're getting a farm to table food experience. They're able to pasture just like our animals. You know, adults are pasturing around our farm all the time. They're walking around our farm all the time. And their kids are sprinting around our farm, you know. It would be so curious. I've always thought this. It would be so curious to have a tracker on a kid to see how many miles did you run at Vernon Family Farm when you were here from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, because they are all over this place. You know, they're zigzagging through the wildflower meadow. They're jumping on hay bale holler.
That's so great to hear.
They're running over to the far back corner of the farm to check out the pigs in the forest. It's awesome. And it's so fun to share. And
when you play that forward, you're going to have made such a contribution in these lives when they grow up. They're going to have remembered what it's like to play on a farm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to have that experience. So
for sure.
Going forward, it's already programmed into them.
Yeah. Well, genuinely, it makes Jeremiah and I so happy. Genuinely, we know what an incredible experience. So if I think of the Vernon Five, you know, my 3 girls, Jeremiah and I, the people that are living the best life on the farm are my 3 girls. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't have any of the stresses that come with the farm. Yes, they might see their parents stressed. I get that. Yeah. But for the most part, especially when they were teeny tiny, no stress, only fun and adventure. My kids naturally, I would say, spend more time outside than the average. They know how to spend time outside, which is kind of funny to say out loud, but a lot of kids don't actually know how to spend time outside. And sometimes that has to do just with you know, what you have or don't have in your backyard. But I mean, the strength is that they have, this beautiful landscape and this beautiful canvas that they just get to crawl around. And it's really fun to share that with other kids.
So
and
awesome.
Now, Mugsy, it's funny. It's like my girls will be at a sporting event and they'll be like, man, that girl looks so familiar. I don't know why she looks so familiar. And this happened the other day. I was like, Magnolia was talking to me about somebody that she saw like on the basketball court. She's like, that person looks so familiar. I'm like, well, next time you're chatting with them, like, ask them if they've come to a farm event, because we've been doing this for long enough now where it's like maybe they seem familiar because you were sprinting around the wildflower meadow with this person.
So funny.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is so nice.
It's beautiful. It's really fun to be able to share this property and let other kids who aren't farm kids be farm kids. That's cool.
And that must have been pretty cool for you. I saw that you got your chicken here into your local Exeter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
so cool.
Yeah, thank you. I know.
That's
I feel
just
really
such a personal milestone that you've made that much of a contribution to like the community you grew up in.
Yeah. So in the beginning of this podcast, I talked about how I met Jeremiah when I was teaching Spanish, and I taught Spanish up until 2 years ago. This is my second school year, not back in the classroom. And when I was working at Exeter High School, I wanted so badly for like these two worlds to cross over more, and it wasn't working out, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It just like wasn't time
Can't
for that
force
to
it.
happen. You can't force it. But yeah, super cool. SAU 16 received a local food grant, which gives them the ability to source, different ingredients, and I'm really excited to be working with SAU 16 so that they can have Vernon Family Farm chicken and other products that I'm able to source from other local farms on their menu.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So nice.
Totally cool. And a really cool experience because like they do the announcements a little differently now at school. I'm not there, so I can't hear it, but they do the announcements a little differently. And a lot of my colleagues were like, what a fun way to start a day hearing that Vernon Family Farm is on the menu.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
The other thing that I wanted to talk to was the operations here. It must be so hard. I worked in banks for a long time, but I worked in so many different industries. Putting together the behind-the-scenes work of organizing several farms to ship product to you, a collection, times. Are you going to have the space for it? Do you have enough room in your freezer for it? That is a very hard operation to nail down, not to mention the relationships of working with farms that I'm sure not all of you guys stay in business, right? There's got to be people coming into the industry, leaving the industry. Yeah. Are the products to the same quality we want to?
Right.
How does that work? How did you get that nailed down here? Because it seems like every time I come in here, you have such a variety of things that I can count on, right? Chicken, beef.
Yep.
There's also dairy. You guys do the own bone broth, but I think there's ice cream. There's snacks here that are always here. Always like maple syrups and stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, so it takes a team, right? It's not just like one person. It 100% takes a team. Like I can't sell chicken if Jeremiah's not growing chicken.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of teamwork that happens there. We also have a really important member of the farm. She's sort of like the invisible employee. Her name is Stephanie. She is our bookkeeper, and a lot of time for many, she's been with us for many years. I want to say she's been with us for like maybe 8 years. It's a different breed being a bookkeeper for a farm than like being a bookkeeper for another business.
Yeah, sure.
They're a different breed of person. So whenever I meet other bookkeepers from other farms, I'm like, ooh, I respect you. Oh my gosh, you're dealing with so much. There's so many different things. Stephanie has an incredible background in in all things farming, because she's always been, to mine, I mean, I don't actually know. It's funny now that I'm like talking about Stephanie, I'm like, what did she do prior to being my bookkeeper?
I'm pretty sure she always lived on the farm.
No, she didn't. And she's going to be laughing if she's listening to this. So she has a really comprehensive knowledge of like breaking down an animal. So she has helped me always. When we ship, and when I say ship, I mean like when we drive animals to slaughter or to process, we have to fill out a cut list so that we can tell the processor and the butcher like how we want the animal sort of cut up and packaged. She's been a huge help all these years to that side of the business. She's taught me a lot. But yeah, I mean, this farm store, like most of the products in this farm store are here because of individual relationships that have been cultivated over a long period of time, and that started out slow. It's kind of like hard to remember what it was like.
It's just a little bit at a time.
It was a little bit at a time. We do have a lot of different vendors reach out to us about selling their product. I wouldn't say we necessarily have a protocol of how it goes, but if you want to sell your products at a farm, you can't be afraid of reaching out multiple times. You got to reach out multiple times, because even if I'm like, oh yeah, that would be a cool item to sell, there's 1,000 other things on my plate that I'm juggling. And so inadvertently, like, I might drop that.
Oh yeah.
So with a lot of these relationships, some of these relationships started prior to us even owning the farm. We were customers at a farmer's market buying farm food from like Brookford Farm. And now we have a different relationship, now
Just
I'm
evolved.
ordering from them instead of like, just being a customer, a consumer at the not at the grocery store, at the farmer's market. We don't really work with a ton of distributors. Currently, we work with one distributor, and that distribution relationship is wonderful. Crown of Maine is a distributor that we work with that helps us be able to shelf things like the Port City pretzels, the Pops Up popcorn, some other companies I say companies, but like some other small farms or small businesses that maybe are outside of an appropriate delivery radius. Because the other thing you have to think about is like cash flow. So I don't have like an endless amount of cash to be able to just purchase whatever I want. I have to be, and sometimes it's a science. It's really more like an art. Sometimes I have to be strategic. Like if I know that we're taking cows to the processor and 6 pigs, and then the following week another 4 pigs, like I have to be really thoughtful about what I'm purchasing for the week for the farm store. So sometimes you might see that we're out of something because, maybe it's just like out of stock, but other times we're out of that because that was like a real decision I had to make. Right now we need to have enough cash to be able to pay for the slaughter bill versus make sure I have popcorn on the shelf. I have found that it's become easier to sort of live that reality by talking about that reality, even with our customers. Like, I feel like it used to be something that I kind of wanted to hide, but
taboo
now
subject.
Yeah, totally. But now I just fully embrace it. And I think customers kind of secretly like it. Like,
Definitely.
I think there's something really, we keep using the word authentic, but I think there's something like real about that, where people are like, oh yeah, of course you're not just always going to have this. Like, of course you're going to run out of beef.
It's a relatable emotional connection, like an emotional experience. Like, oh yeah, I've run out of things before. It makes sense.
Yeah,
But
totally.
like I like shopping here. So like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't need that.
Yeah.
I'll get something else.
Yeah.
Understanding.
And that has to do with customer flexibility, which I think naturally you have to be flexible
to get into this environment.
Yeah. You might have a recipe in your head and it calls for leeks, but like leeks aren't in season anymore. So how you gonna shift? Some people do that really well. Some people struggle to do that. Some people might go in between. Like, okay, I'm still gonna get leeks from grocery store, but I'm also gonna get these other 3 items and make a salad with the local food that is available here to me today. So great relationships with our vendors. Most of the products that you see in the farm store, those are individual relationships. So that's like, at this point, it's me, but in years past, it used to be other employees ordering for the farm. Me emailing directly or texting directly with different small business owners, farmers. Hey, what do you have this week? Can I, oh, okay, great. I'll take, 25 pounds of yellow onions, 25 pounds of red onions, those sorts of like little conversations that sometimes happen during store hours, sometimes happen randomly when I'm, ice skating with my family or spending family time. Yeah. So managing that can be kind of tricky. There's also the reality of like, just because you ordered it doesn't mean it's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you ordered it doesn't mean that something didn't happen and all of a sudden the truck that does wholesale is broken down, and that's just not going to work out this week.
It is funny working. That's part of the magic that I see here. It's like such an unbelievable symphony put together in real time that you get to experience.
Yeah.
Because it takes so much work that people don't get to see.
Yeah.
And so many little things have to go right in order for you to get like all the things here.
Yeah, 100%.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that. It is so nice to be able to discover things like this.
Yeah.
And it only comes to fruition if people like you are working hard behind the scenes. That's really why I wanted to have this conversation.
Oh, well, thanks, Mugsy. That means a lot. It's all, also another thing that I just want to add to the conversation around like vendors. So my family eats primarily out of this farm store. So like, yes, you might see me at Market Basket every once in a while, but when I'm there, by the way, I'm buying things that most people opt not to buy. Like I'm buying mini bags of chips for my girls' lunch boxes. I won't pretend to be a purist because I'm not.
Yeah.
So, the food that we sell here, like 99.9% of the food that we sell here, we eat. And so because we eat all this food, it makes us better conversationalists around the products, better storytellers around the products, and I'm able to recommend that pickled vegetable medley from Massachusetts is hands down some of the best pickled veggies that I've ever had, and you should put it on a salad next time.
There's no one who knows it like you because you know the insides and outs.
Yeah, because we eat it.
Yeah.
So it's fun to give that sort of recommendation.
Unbelievable, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's fun.
Is there anything else you want to cover?
I don't know. It feels like we've covered a lot.
I feel like we hit on a lot of things.
Yeah. I think if I'm thinking about, wanting to encourage the folks that maybe are like listening to this podcast but have never stepped foot into whether it's our farm store or another farm store, I think something that I want to encourage is like be open to the experience and be open to like having a conversation with your farmer. I think the more, there's like this, I don't know if it's called like a motto or a tagline, know your farmer. I use that a lot. And sometimes people are like, what does know your farmer mean? And for me, what know your farmer means is when you're shopping at a farm or a farm store, like start having conversations about the food that they're selling to you. Ask questions. Don't be judgmental. Just listen. You probably don't know the full story. You might not like the fact that the meat is frozen. Well, ask why it's frozen. There's probably a legit reason why it's frozen. And I think if you just sort of push yourself into that experience, you'll quickly learn that like your farmer wants those questions, wants to be able to have those conversations with you. And then once that relationship is established, like there's nothing that unless it just doesn't grow here, there's really like nothing that you can't get from your farmer if you have a good relationship with them. There's so many folks who are like, hey, you don't have this, but this is what I'm looking for. I will bend over backwards to find that product for you locally.
I feel like we're on the same team when I'm here.
Yeah.
And when I go into other experiences as a customer, I feel like they're trying to get me, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't get that here.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get you. I never want a customer to feel that way.
So that I think is just such a change. Being on the same team for once. That's an unbelievable feeling to have.
Yeah, totally. And if you feel safe to tell me what it is that you're looking for, I can guide you in the right way. Like if you feel safe coming through this farm store and being like, hey, I really want to shop local, but I'm shopping local on a budget. I only have this much money. Like, if
Let's
I
find a
know
way.
that takes courage to say that, but like, cool, I'm with you. I will help you figure out how to maximize your dollar so that you can walk out feeling like you got more than you thought, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
Great.
Just like start to know your farmer.
I love that, having just a little like know your farmer, because it's easy to remember for
Yeah.
people. Know your farmer. I think that also everyone should be getting to know whoever's selling them something they
Yeah.
ingest.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I think we've grown, like, how old are you?
35.
Yeah, I'm 40, so we're basically the same age.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like growing up, I don't know if this was your experience, but like I really wanted to have like personal relationships with people in my life. Like I wanted to know my doctor, right? Because I felt like if I had a good relationship with my doctor, my health and the health care that I would receive would be better.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to go down that rabbit hole. Like we can talk about whether whether or not that's actually true.
Yeah.
But that's something I always wanted to be able to like walk into like a local like diner or a local restaurant and know the owner and have them be like, "Hey Nicole, you having the regular?" And be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm having the regular." You
Such
know?
a great experience.
It's so fun.
And I had to talk my wife into this too, because she didn't like being the person that was the regular there. She's like, I don't like them knowing me, until I started taking her to this place, farm to table restaurant, kitchen table in Beverly, Massachusetts. And all of a sudden we're the regulars. And now she's changed completely. She's like, this is the best. I love going in there.
Yeah.
Just hang out with Parker and Alex.
Yes.
And they know what we're having. Well, what I'm having. She's always changing her mind on things. But
Yeah.
it's such a different, it's great to be.
It's great.
Everyone wants to be included and part of the community.
Yeah. And, you know, all of a sudden you walk in and I know what it is that you've purchased in previous times. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mugsy, if you like the bacon, just wait till you try the jowls. And you're going to be like, jowls? I've never tried that before. And then all of a sudden you're like loving both of those
Oh my
pork
God.
cuts.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Just something I didn't know I was going to love. I love that. Wow, this has been unbelievably fun.
Well, thanks for taking the time to come out here.
Thank you for your time. It's so valuable. I know that you have a million things going on in your head all the time, and I think you do such an unbelievable job balancing it. It's so clear that you think strategically in so many different ways, and I don't know if that is from the art of you don't even realize you're doing it, and if you think about it for too long, that's when things start to get...
That's
if you just
partially
stay
true.
in the motion of it. But whatever you're doing, this is a magical experience. I enjoyed coming up here for the events. I enjoy shopping in the store, and I absolutely love the food, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Such a pleasure.
You too. All right. Have
That
a
was
good one.
it. Take back your consciousness, guys. I love you. We are out. If you want to find out where else you can listen to this broadcast, and you're a human, you can go to MugsyTheCreator.com. If you're a robot, I got nothing for you. I mean, unless you can subscribe over here, or you can click this playlist. If you're a robot, you can do that. That would definitely help. Like, subscribe, whatever you want. Thanks a lot, guys.